please share, subscribe, hit that like button for me, and let's get to this live. Now, new Supreme Court terms will reshape Trump's powers. Now, the U.S. Supreme Court begins its new term on Monday with a docket already full of potential significant cases that could define the scope of Donald Trump's presidency, authorities, and prospect of more to come. In the 8 months that Trump has been back in White House, he has tested the limit of executive powers on literally implementing new policies, slashing federal budgets and workforce, attempting to bring previously independent agencies and institutions more directly under his control. The latest proven legal battles come from the president's attempts to take control of the state National Guard unit and deploy them in cities where he claimed there is public unrest and rampart crimes over the ejection of local and state officials. In Oregon, a federal judge has issued orders blocking Trump deployment of troops to Portland. An appeal court is set to review the move in the coming days. This is a nation of constitutional laws, not martial laws. Judge, whom Trump appointed to the bench in his first term, wrote in her Saturday opinions. Defendants have made a range of arguments that if accept risks, blurring the line between civil and military federal powers to detriment of this nation. Once the court have its say, the Supreme Court could step and take over a so-called shadow decade, suing a ruling that could curtain Trump's ability to use the military on U.S. soils or give him a free hand, at least temporarily. Such review have become a more routine recurrency recently as a majority of the Supreme Court justice responded to mercy petitions from the Trump administration have largely allowed the president's actions to move forward while legal challenges play out. So we're seeing Trump is continuing to use his power in the detriment of this nation. So now, since review have become a more routine occurrence recently as a majority of the Supreme Court justice in response to a mercy petition for the Trump administration have largely allowed the president's action to move forward while legal challenges play out. So it says a tug of war between the Supreme Court and the lower federal court is going to be a driving force in the coming term. Samuel, a professor at the University of Chicago lawsuit, says at a briefing last month, the court reliance on this shadow a decade have been criticized by left-leaning legal scholars and politicians as improper use of the court authorities. Its orders have typically been short, offering limited legal reasons and leaving lower level judges. So it says all Americans should be alarmed by the Supreme Court growing reliance on its shadow decade to resolve a controversial and high-profile cases without any transparency nor substantive, of explanations or arguments or reason. Democrat Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey says earlier this week. This further pushes the courts and decisions out of view of public scrutiny and shield it from accountability. In the coming months, however, the court is set to tackle questions of presidential powers, of the high-profile controversies had on hearing or arguments, and issue full decisions on their merit. It's not going to be able to get away with one-page orders that don't explain the reasons. Senate professor at the Harvard Kennedy School, who's specialists at the Supreme Court and U.S. politics. If they are going to grant more power to the executive, is going to have to explain why. The court is already scheduled to consider whether federal laws prohibit the president from removing members of agencies designed by Congress to be independent for presidential influence on executive authority. The justice will also hear arguments in its expedient review of Trump's attempt to fire Lisa Cook from her position as a governor on the Influence Control Federal Reserve Board, a case that could dramatically increase the president's powers over American economic policies. The U.S. and global economy is also front and center as Supreme Court justice will have a chance to decide whether many of the Trump's unilaterally imposed tariffs on foreign imports and legal authorities should be looked at. Now, according to reports, the justice may also review Trump's attempts of these cuts, federal spendings, and fire lower level government employees, as well as his aggressive immigration and deportation policies. While the court have not yet agreed to consider Trump attempts to terminate the citizenship for those born on the U.S. soil, it could do so in the coming months. The scope of executive power will be front, said the professor Jennifer of the University of Chicago Law School in an email to the BBC. The case coming before the court will test the Trump administration's highest political and economic priorities, whether tariffs and birthright citizenship. One question will be whether the justice will apply principles and major question documents that is used to strike down signatures, the Biden initiatives, and the political, even-handed ways. The court used its newly fashioned major question documents, the Biden effort at student loan forgiveness, and the environmental regulations, holding that the Congress did not give him explicit. The present powers is the central focus of this year's Supreme Court team, but cases involving several hot button political and cultural controversies are also scheduled in the coming months. The court will review whether a Colorado ban on a conversion therapy, a controversial practice that attempts to use a counseling to change a person's sexual orientations or gender identity, violates constitutional free speech protections. Also on the docket are two cases involving state bans for transgender athletes and interscholastic sports competition. A Republican congressman in Illinois is challenging a state law that allowed mail ballots to be counted up 2 weeks after election days. A group of Louisiana conservatives have asked the court to strike down a provision of voting rights laws that require states to draw a congressional district that guarantee black voters representation equal to their population levels. The Republican Party is targeting a decade-old law that prevents the political candidates and parties from coordinating their campaign spendings. Over the past few years, this conservative dominated Supreme Court have demonstrated a willingness to issue landmarks new rulings that have dramatically shifted American legal landscapes. On a topic like abortion rights, federal regulatory authorities and the consideration of race in college and admissions, court has re- reversed it decades of existing. Those decisions had distributed to a public view of the Supreme Court that had become increasingly polarized along the partisan lines. In a recent Foundation poll, it says, according to reports, the nation's highest legal body was split nearly evenly, with Republicans supportive and Democrats highly critical. So it says, by the time the court issues final decision in its term, expect by the end of June next year, the 6-3 conservative majority on the court may have broken their new grounds and once again fundamentally reshape America's laws. It's good to see that things will be shaped. And Trump is in some more legal trouble. Now let's roll this clip.
But it's an honor to have the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, who I have made very popular. He's an extremely popular Prime Minister. And I'm very honored to do it because I liked him right from the beginning. I've liked him, and we've had a good relationship. We have some natural conflict, but we will probably work that out. But we've had a very strong relationship, and your hosting of the various countries that showed up that was a beautiful job you did, and I appreciate it very much. We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. We'll certainly be talking about Gaza. We're in very serious negotiations to, I guess you could say, depending on the way you count, 3,000 years. You could say 500 years. You could say, but that it's been raging for a long time. And I think there's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East. It's something even beyond the Gaza situation. We want a release of the hostages immediately, etc. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the book.
There's no peace, man, when it comes to America when she goes to these foreign countries. There's no peace that these foreign countries want to make with the United States. America's in trouble, y'all. I've been saying this, and I'm gonna keep on saying this. She's in trouble that she can't get herself out. She's in some serious trouble. This don't even have to do with American people, but this have to do with our U.S. governments, our war leaders. America's in trouble. I just want to start there. She have to reshape things, y'all. She's in some serious trouble. She can't even dig herself out. She's in this grip of this divine judgment that she can't dig herself out of.
as anybody that hasn't, actually. Not that I've seen. But there's a real chance that we could do something, so you may have some questions on that later. But in the meantime, we'll spend some time and we'll make some deals and we'll do some things that are good for both of our countries. And Mark, it's an honor to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. If I may, you kindly hosted me and some of my colleagues a few months ago, and I said at the time, you are a transformative president. And since then, the transformation in the economy, unprecedented commitments of NATO partners to defense spending, peace from India, Pakistan through to Azerbaijan, Armenia, disabling Iran as a force of terror, and now, and I'm running out of time, but this is in many respects the most important.
The
what you traded
of Canada
No,
and the
what
United
you
States.
I wasn't where I was going. I was no, but on this solemn day of commemoration of the October horrific attacks of October 7th, for the first time in decades, hundreds of years, thousands of years, this prospect of peace that you've made possible, Canada stands foursquare behind those efforts, and we'll do whatever we can to support it.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
What would it take for you to drop or lower your tariffs on Canadian sectors, including aluminum and steel?
Well, we're going to be talking about that with the Prime Minister. And we'll be talking about tariffs. We'll be talking about a lot of that, but that's for a little bit later on.
As the Prime Minister
I want to just acknowledge our great ambassador.
Hey, y'all, do y'all actually think he's going to lower tariffs? Do you actually think that he's going to lower tariffs? See, Trump is using his government power. He's using power, y'all. See, the judge has got Trump, you know what I mean? You know, Trump got so much lawsuits pending. It don't look too good, man. It don't look too good for him, man. He got these lawsuits pending on him. Everything he's doing is backfiring. At the end of the day, y'all, they're gonna look at this, you know what I mean, lawsuits he has. They're gonna look at what you're doing is lawful. And the people are already looking at, you know what I mean, at this whole thing, man. They're looking at the House of Representatives, Republicans. See, the old system, it's finna fall, y'all. It's finna fall. It's gonna die. They can't keep bringing in the old system. The old system gonna have to eventually go. It's a change that's coming, y'all. A new world have to come in. A change coming. Change is coming. Let's go.
Is he doing a good job?
He's doing a good job.
Otherwise, I'll get him out of there so fast.
Is it the White House's position that furloughed workers should be paid for their back pay?
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way. Okay? Thank you.
Why has Canada and the United States failed to reach an agreement up until now?
Well, it's a complicated agreement, more complicated maybe than any other agreement we have on trade, because, you know, we have natural conflict. We also have mutual love.
You see that? See that? It's so hard for them to make trades because America have conflict. She's in conflict with all the 40 countries. When you can't keep your nose clean, it's like she's damn near in everyone's affairs. She can't keep her nose clean. Here she go sniffing in all these people's affairs. So here's my take on it. After all the years you done made trouble, you done troubled countries. Now you find a way you want to make peace, that you want to make ends meet. People ain't buying it. The foreign country prime leaders of these countries, they're not buying this. You wonder why all American trades is cut off. All her delicious, delicate, her splendor, all she had right here in the restaurant, her cargoes, her shift masters, is brothers. It's all gone now. One day, one year, it all came to pass. And so no one wants to do no more bidding with her. See, friendship, she's losing. She's losing out on friends. She's losing out on that currency. You see, the dollar won't be worth a dollar. You'll see if she ain't lost 50% of her value, you'll see the value of her currency will at some point decline. Let's go.
We have great love for each other. I love this. I love Canada, the people of Canada, and Mark feels the same way about here. The problem we have is that they want a car company and I want a car company, meaning the U.S. wants a car company, and they want steel and we want steel. So in other countries they're very far away, and there's no problem. You can compete and you can do. We don't like to compete because we sort of hurt each other when we compete. And so we have a natural conflict. It's a natural business conflict. Nothing wrong with it. And I think we've come a long way over the last few months, actually, in terms of that relationship. So when it comes to trade, the United States was always giving everything. They gave everything to Canada, and they would let car companies leave here and go to Canada. But that hurts the United States. And, other presidents didn't see that. They weren't business oriented. They might have been good politicians in some cases, not in all cases. They were bad at both. But it's a very natural conflict, and it's something that we're working on.
Offering a lot of compromise this summer. Are you willing to offer some compromise to Canada, maybe on steel, and then
But we made compromise, and
That's one thing. When it comes to our world leaders, they have a lack of compromises with other foreign leaders, y'all. You know what I mean? When America she's the number one bulldozer. And when you're a bulldozer, you want to bulldoze your way in. If things lively don't go your way, this is what you want to do. See, the problem we have is when it comes to our world leaders, they fail to compromise communication. What I mean? Communication comes a long way when you can communicate, when everyone can be, on one page. But when America becomes the enemy, when she becomes public enemy number one, when she becomes, number one public enemy on God's radar, she's an enemy today against these foreign countries. You can't make this stuff up. Trump is an arrogant person. You know what I mean? He can't compromise. A lot of y'all might say he's a businessman, but he can't compromise. Hell, they came in the war that's continued to escalate in Russia and Ukraine. You see Gaza and Israel. You see Hamas still got some of those Israelites hostage. See, when it comes to America, when it comes to America and England, they deposit their little brother Israel on foreign soil, the Palestinians' land, because those people over there, those people that's over there in Israel, those not the real Israelis. God, you see how Jacob man is being abandoned. Jacob is hated. Jacob is cursed. But God said, I gotta inhabit Israel land. The land, because land is out of his reach. God gotta, inherit Israel and land. To see the Palestinians, that's gonna be their turf. And see, this is why America don't have power to exercise the Middle East. This is why she's on her way out in the Middle East. And see, this is gonna be bloodshed. This is gonna be bloodshed. Plenty of bloodshed you're gonna see. Let's go.
We've made some compromise even on steel. You know, we have the same basic authority and the same basic. This could be also a little bit of a conflict with other countries all over the world on steel, because we want to make our own steel. We don't want to bring steel in for the most part, but we will bring it in, and we do bring it in. We continue to bring it in from Canada, but there is a tariff to pay. And I think that would be a normal thing to say, but we've come a long way. I think, Howard, we can truly say, do you want to make a comment on that?
Well, I think the opportunity to work together, but as you've said, there's conflict. Why do we make cars in Canada? You've called that out, and you've addressed that. So there are places we should work together. There are places that we have natural conflict.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Canadians are refusing to go to the U.S. The numbers are down like 23% in the first 7 months of the year. What do you say to Canadians that don't want to go to the U.S. now because of your 51st state talk, because of the trade war, the tariffs, and the fear also?
Look, I understand that, and Americans don't want to buy cars that are made in Canada. You know, I mean, we have the same conflict. So it's something that will get worked out. There's still great love between the two countries, but American people want product here. They want to make it here. Detroit was emptied out and moved to Canada, moved to Mexico, moved to other places, not just Canada. And now they're all moving back. They're moving back. We have right now. I was just telling Mark, we have 17 trillion, but it's really much higher. That was as of a couple of months ago. We have over $17 trillion being invested now in the United States. As an example, Biden, he was the worst president we've ever had, but they had less than 1 trillion in 4 years. We have more than 17 trillion in 8 months. 8 months. And I think.
Look, Trump said a key thing. They got trillions. But why the government shut down? Why they say they run out of funds? See, America got enough money to feed. You know what I mean? To feed us. To give us a room and board that our fathers have well deserved when they built the country of America. We deserve at least a few of these states. America got enough money. See, America is one of the last richest remaining, countries. They got enough funds. to help out. See. Now it's getting to a point that the government don't want you to rely on them. Even if you need their help, they don't want you to rely on them. That's sad. All the natural resource, all the resource we was getting through the government, we didn't rely on the government. Government ain't coming to save us. Let's go.
I think that number is going to be 21, 22 trillion dollars. There's never been anything like that in the history of the world for any country, not even close. You know, if you did 1 trillion in a year, that's pretty good. We're going to do over 20. And it's coming in with AI, it's coming in with auto plants. You know, we're building auto plants, a lot of auto plants in the U.S. It's coming in for a lot of reasons. It's coming in because of the fact, I think the November 5th election was a big factor, and I think the tariffs are a big factor. And again, we want Canada to do great, but you know, there's a point at which we also want this.
Look, y'all. These tariffs gonna be a factor. These prelims, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a very factor. When you realize the cost of healthcare, you know what I mean? Y'all gotta realize that the cost of prelims is going to skyrocket. It's going to get to some point you're going to see things going to skyrocket. And in view of the poor of the necessary life, watch. Middle class people are going to really take the domino. They will feel the domino effect. Now let's go.
Same business. We're competing for the same business. That's the problem. That's why I keep mentioning one way to solve that problem is a very easy way. But we're competing for the same business. He wants to make cars, we want to make cars, and we're in competition. And the advantage we have is we have this massive market. So it's it's quite an advantage. Yeah, well, it's been invoked before, as you know. If you look at Chicago's a great city where there's a lot of crime. And if the governor can't do the job, we'll do the job.
You see what I'm saying, y'all? He's talking about the government can't do the job. The city mayors can't do the job. We're going to come in there and do the job. But what kind of job he's talking about? This is an insurrection act. This is an unlawful act to deploy military troops into Chicago, to terrorize communities, to vandalize community, to ransom people from their home. This is martial law. This is what martial law looks like. This is what martial law looks like. See, we're at a time we want to live in peace. We want a better world. We was not expecting this. We at a time, y'all. We want a better world. We tired of this system. This is a system, y'all, that if we allow these people to continue to sweep things on the rug, they will continue to break. You know what I mean? The amendment right, your 14th Amendment right, your Constitution rights. If you allow them to continue to enforce this insurrection act, ICE agent going into cities. Now, there was 37 arrests made in Chicago. Children is missing and coming up unalive. That's a problem, y'all. That becomes a problem. Let's go.
It's all very simple. They probably had 50 murders in Chicago over the last 5, 6, 7 months. Many people were shot. And then the governor gets up and he says, well, we can handle it. They can't handle it. They don't know what they're doing. The mayor is grossly incompetent. He's at a 4% approval rating in Chicago. He's at a 4%, lowest approval rating, lower than even de Blasio had, which is hard to believe in New York. I thought de Blasio would always maintain that record, but the Chicago guy is even lower. So I think that we want safe cities. If you look at D.C., you would right now, Mark, you could go out, take your family out to dinner, you could walk right down the middle of the street. There is no crime in D.C. When I got here, this place was a raging hellhole where people would come from Canada.
Look, I want y'all to pay attention, man. There will be a nationwide crackdown. Believe me, there will be a nationwide crackdown. If nobody do nothing about this, man, Trump's gonna continue to use this insurrection act to continue to force, you know what I mean, special task force like ICE agents, you know what I mean, National Guards and Marines. This is what civil war looks like. Let's go.
Would come from other places and end up getting shot. Nobody's being shot. The National Guardsmen, unbelievable. I mean, they are strong, tough guys. You know, we won something at the Supreme Court, which is a big deal. Merit. Everything now in this country is merit-based. I didn't think I'd ever see it again. And we have our soldiers are merit-based too. And they're central casting. And they walk through that town, and I'll tell you what, this place is safe. It's beautiful. Now we're in Memphis, and the same thing's happening. You're getting the reports. The bad guys are saying, we don't want anything to do with this. And we're removing many people. In D.C., we took out 1,700 career criminals and sent them back to the countries from which they came, mostly led out by Biden and his people that had an open border policy. And you know, Canada, you suffered because of that too, because they'd come here and they'd go into Canada also. So we're like a buffer for that in terms of Canada suffered greatly by Biden and the open border, the policy of open border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. And these people were, you know, if you got 5%, 2%, you were getting a lot of bad people. And we now have a closed border. Yep, you've done well. We have a closed border. And it's a really closed border. In fact, for 4 months, I don't even know if this is possible, but the figures were released. 0 people were able to come into the United States from the southern border. 0. And as you know, we've taken a very hard stand on drugs. This is also benefiting you. A lot of we call them the water drugs, the drugs that come in through water. They're not coming. There are no boats anymore. Frankly, there are no fishing boats. There's no boats out there, period. If you want to know the truth, we're saying, does anybody go fishing anymore? The fact is, we knocked down, probably saved at least 100,000 lives, American lives, Canadian lives, by taking out all those boats coming in. So it's and now they don't come in that way anymore. Now they'll come in other ways, and we're not going to allow that either. So we've done a great job on that. But on crime, Chicago's a great city, but you can't be a great city if you have murders and if you have a lot of problems, and they do.
Now let's be realistic. Let's look at things. Who brought the guns in? Who brought the drugs in? Why crime the way it is? See, we got to be smart now, y'all. We got to stop. You know what I mean? Naming turfs when that turf was never ours. We got to wake up and see things the way it is. See, there's a lot of YNs, y'all. Young Negroes. That's what they call you. Look at these young Negroes. We got to come in here now. We got to come right in here. And why you think they coming in these major cities? Because it's y'all killing each other. Chicago has the worst crimes in the United States, y'all. And the sad thing, the minister of Farrakhan been warning you. He was going in Chicago, you know what I mean, using black apparel, giving the people the fruit of Islam, warning you that they was coming with tanks, that they was coming. Trump is giving them permission to kill. They don't have to have no proper cause. You know when I seen our sister Brittany Taylor. Here was a woman. She's a security guard. Respected in her neighborhood. They showed that they didn't have no proper cause, no arrest warrant. Went into our sister's house, shot our sister to death. The same that happened with the Nader woman, Sonia. The Chicago Nader woman went and called the police. And she was gunned down right inside her home. Let's look at history. Look what happened with George Floyd. Look how we lost Trayvon Martin. Boy, you know, we went to a store, went inside a store, a convenience store, and bought some Skittles, come out. You know, and with a hoodie on, you see Mr. Zimmerman started to pursue him. You see. See, our life is like a mist. And that's why David said, yes, Lord, I walked into this valley of shadow of death because I feel no evil, because the Lord are with me. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. See, with all of this chastity,s with all of this carnage, with all of this brutality and infliction, this stuck with us. History. See, history is repeating itself. Let's go.
And they have an incompetent policy, just like they had open border policy. Anybody can come in. They came in from prisons. They came in from mental institutions, drug dealers. They came in from all over the place. And We don't have that anymore. This country is becoming we're a very strong country. Look, financially speaking, I would say that because of the tariffs, because of the election, because of the policy, because of the great big beautiful deal. It's what I added the word great because it really is. It's the biggest bill ever passed in the history of our country. We don't need another bill. It's the biggest tax cuts. When you think no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime for the people. But far beyond that, what it does is incentivizes auto plans and AI and all of the things that nobody's ever passed a bill like. We don't need another bill. We don't need any.
What the big beautiful bill is, where they failed to tell you, is going to really garnish a lot of Americans, man. That's what, and that one big, ugly, beautiful bill. Now, y'all can either take it or leave it, man. For those people that voted Trump, 25 Trump, you know what I mean? 2025 Trump. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta, come on, man. Put your thinking cap on. Look what's going around. Look what's going on in our world, man, today, man. In a society where people are dealing with pain, anxiety, people having mental breakdowns, mental disorders. In a time like this, where we in a society, people dealing with pain. All your life you deal with pain and anxiety. So God is telling us to cast all our anxieties on him because he cares for you. And you have to be alert because the enemy, the devil, he prowls around like a rare lion, seeking who he can devour. You got to resist him. You got to resist from Satan. See, our politicians, our black politicians are so much in trouble. See, black politicians are offered jobs, for a few perishable dollars, for a race whose time have come to an end. Now think how long we got. How long do you think we have?
More bills. I said, let's get it all at once. I was greatly helped by our speaker, Mike Johnson, and by the Senate. I'll tell you what, John Thune's been, both of those guys have.
Yeah, we're gonna speak on facts because white America is wicked beyond your and my imagination. Of people that don't have it. We've been living through racial division, racial hate, racial injustice. And when black people don't fight today for our oppression of justice, we are fighting because we are fighting and retaliating because of the color you see your brothers wearing. But we're not going and fighting for our oppression of justice or what the oppressor did. This injustice stuck with us. This is why America's judgment is here. Because the blood that been on these people's hands, the blood and stain that been on these people's hands, you gotta be held accountable. Your people gotta be held accountable. Because what have the American, when it comes to the American governments, what have the US government done? What have our war leaders done? What have our politicians done? The senator, Congress. This country on the verge of going straight to hell. because she can't carve out you a future. Hell, America don't have a future for herself. And since she don't have a future for herself, hell is always a appointed place where it's nice and comfortable. When hell is a appointed place where the fire don't go out, it keeps burning. It's a hot place, man. Because we know for a fact the wicked can't perceive. Come on, man. How long these people been holding government? I wait. How long we gave them all this time at it? They show you they can't be successful at it. They put it right in your face. How long you still go to the poll and vote for these people, and the Democrats, no matter who you vote for, Democrats or Republicans, what have these parties done? See, we know, judgment of America is here. Judgment have come to America. And we know that a savior is to come. That's why you are so furious. You are so upset and disappointed. Nah. There was going to be a time that was to come. And the time has now come.
It's been incredible. And we got a bill passed that I said, let's see if we can get it all done. Because these Democrats are like insurrectionists, okay? They're so bad for our country. Their policy is so bad for our country. I said, let's see if we can get it all done and everybody said it's not doable. Because it's the biggest bill ever passed in the history of our country. And we got it all done. We don't need anything else. We got everything we want. And now, because of that, that's a big reason why the companies are coming in. 1 year depreciation, 1 year write-off, 1 year expensing. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. So they're coming in from all over the world. But to have a great country, you can't have crime. And we don't have crime, but we have cities where there's tremendous crime. And Chicago's one of them.
But yeah, this is also a cursed country. America is a cursed country. It's a wicked country. It's a country now that you're going to see 200 years of great famine. America's cursed. America is cursed. And America is surrounded with the judgment of Allah God. You are witnessing a divine judgment. See, when we go into the Quran, Surah chapter 13, 41, we have visited a land and curtain a nation from its sides. You see, the foolish still are foolish until he's cast away into a narrow place and he can't turn right or left. So it was a term with Pharaoh. See, it's like a term that America has in a political office. And see, where a term comes, they cannot delay it, nor can they decide. America has an expiration date. They have that expire, date. I don't feel sorry what's coming. Because our people have been beaten, murdered, raped. The cries of our people has been heard. The God of justice, freedom, equality is here. And he about to make his presence felt. And there's no more that the earth and heaven will be let out to these non-owners. That it can prove to you and me that you can see that they was never successful. So now it takes God to come to use the power and force of his nature to bring this nation to a nothing. And I can tell you that there's scientists and scholars can say that she's on her way out.
And if the governor can't straighten it out, we'll straighten it out. Thank you. A question for the minister.
Mr. Carney, Mr. Prime Minister, I'd like to know how come the UK and the European Union have succeeded to sign deals and bring the tariffs down, and Canada still hasn't been able to do the same?
Yeah, because they're not located right next to each other. It makes it, in many cases, it's much better and easier. But
Yeah, and if I may, let's be clear about the relationship as it stands right now. We are the second largest trading partner of the United States. We do a lot of trade going across the border where we're cooperating, first thing. Secondly, we are the largest foreign investor in the United States. $500 billion in the last 5 years alone, probably $8 trillion in the next 5 years if we get the agreement that we expect to get. Thirdly, there are areas, as the president just said, where conflict, maybe not so much conflict, we compete. There are areas where we compete, and it's in those areas where we have to come to an agreement that works. But there are more areas where we are stronger together, and that's what we're focused on. And we're going to get the right deal for America, right deal, obviously, from my perspective, for Canada.
Wait. So one thing where we are working very closely is the Golden Dome. That's the protective mechanism, and you see how that works. It's unbelievable. Ronald Reagan wanted to have it, and at that time they didn't have the technology, even close to the technology. But he was advanced, and we'll be working together on a Golden Dome for the two countries, and something that I think is going to be very important. Especially when you look at the world, you look at what's happening. We want to have that protection. It's really amazing. The technology is unbelievable.
Why do you say some federal workers should not get their back pay? Why do you say some?
Well, you're going to have to figure that out. Okay, ask the Democrats that question.
Mr. President, just to follow up there, I mean, the law says that when the government is reopened, that workers will receive their back pay. So are you going to define the law there, or what do you?
I follow the law, and what the law says is correct, and I follow the law.
Mr. President, will Canada be leaving empty-handed, or will Canada?
I'm going to say this like this, y'all. When it comes to the federal workers, Trump is trying to fire every back pay from these federal workers, man. This is sad what he's doing, y'all. But this is what they're doing, y'all. We can't allow these people to continue to do what they're doing, man. The House of these representatives of the Republican Party is doing what they want to do, y'all. And we can't continue to allow this to go on, man. Let's go.
Will Mr. Carney be leaving Washington with a deal on tariffs?
I think they're going to be very happy. We have a lot of things that we're working on that people don't talk about. They talk about, competitiveness. He's a very competitive person. And they talk about things that we don't necessarily agree on. But I think they're going to walk away very happy. I think so.
On all your negotiated? Do you want a minimum tariff on goods between Canada and the US?
Well, we're going to have tariffs between Canada and, they have them with us. I will say with our farmers, as you know, they went up to as much as 400%, 250, 300, and even one at 401. We found one having to do with a very small product, but it was high. So we've always had tariffs between the two of us. And actually, Canada was charging us very high tariffs on our agricultural things, a lot of our agricultural product. And that's one of the things that we talk about for bringing that down. So, this is a mutual thing, but we've been charged tariffs. Look, we're the king of being screwed by tariffs, just so you understand. And I'm not talking about with Canada, I'm talking about with countries.
I'm going to say it like this. Can nobody argue with me how racial justice stuck with us? This has been going on through centuries. When they bombed Oklahoma, black people was killed through the Oklahoma, Homer City bombing. I don't know if you can remember that. Also, I don't remember that none of you can't forget the moments. See, I was told never join the military and fight the white man's wars. You had no black man don't have no business fight the white man's war to save the independency, but black people was free. To join the war. We went and fought Germany. We defeated Germany. All behind their leave. We went into the Philippines and Mexico and Japan. We're not going to forget about. We fought the Japanese. No black people blood was shed and poured out. We risked our lives. Black people still risking their life. Because black people in the South are still getting killed, hung, bodies that's splattered, children's hung up in a billboard. So how after you see 400 years in the racial district, we keep it real. We see the sun nose, tobacco juice mouth, blue-eyed devils are plunking our people down to such slavery condition. Crushing them to death and diseasing them. Children are lively suffering from malnutrition. All behind a lack, you see, of medical attention. All behind the wicked demon that could just do all the ill he can. You even have Ronald Reagan, president. A lot of Africans without food, starving. But you had Ronald Reagan, president. Now, if we're going to talk, then let's talk.
All over the world. When you look at Europe, when you look at China, when you look at all of the almost every country charge the U.S. We didn't charge them.
What people had to learn, black and white have always been a color. Had always see y'all don't understand. See, I want you to agree, whether you black, brown, red, yellow. Prove to me that we must be separate. Each of us can decide that a man must go to his own. If we are so not wanting the United States of America, if we are so hated in the United States of America, if we are the ones being treated like dogs, being carried on, you know what I mean, in a latch, black people continue to get found locked up. I mean, you can't make this up. You have in the culture, in the hip hop entertainment, black people are set up. And if we don't see right through it, then we're gonna always be made a object, a tool to its occurrence. Just look at what they're doing. See, they have no use anymore for us. They have no interest for us. We are no, they are, you know what I mean? They know that we are no use to them anymore. Now, if you ready to go back and do it all over again, he's ready to tighten the chain. They not in a rush of putting the chain on you. I want you to see. Look at our black entertainment world. Look how they treat us. Let's go.
Because we were led by stupid people in many cases. Stupid people. They took advantage of our country. They're not taking advantage of us anymore. You know, if you looked at European Union, they're all my friends. I don't blame them. I blame our presidents. I blame our past presidents and, you know, business leaders. But we are the king of countries that have been taken advantage of for many, many years. We've been paying trillions and trillions of dollars and receiving nothing at all. As an example, prior to the deal with Europe, where they paid a lot of money, but they're happy and I'm happy. The deal was good. It's a fair deal, but it wasn't fair. You couldn't put a car into Europe. You couldn't sell your agriculture into Europe. You couldn't do anything. And now we have it so that it's open. We charge them tariffs. We didn't charge them tariffs in car. They charge us tremendous. I said to Angela Merkel once, I said, how many cars have gone to Germany from the United States? And she said, well, I don't believe any. And I said, you're right. You're right. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. And they're paying a fair amount. It's just a fair amount. It's not, I could ask for much more. It's a fair amount. But the United States now is using the same thing that they've used on us. And I just can't believe it's taken presidents so long to do this. And again, we're going to treat people fairly. We're going to especially treat Canada fairly. But I can't believe it's taken so long where we get charged and don't charge them. Japan was a good example. We made a deal with Japan. You saw that one, a deal with Japan. It's a much different deal than we've had in the past. But they would send us millions of cars, no charge. We weren't allowed to send them cars. We sent no cars. I doubt you had one car go into Japan because we were restricted. They didn't want our cars. Same thing with Europe. Same thing with other places. So that all we do now is fairness. But fairness leads us to the most successful country there's ever been.
Look, you guys, America used to do a lot of trade with Japan, China, y'all. Most of our stuff, when you buy something and you check and you see where it's from, most of it's from China, Japan, y'all. America, see, look, man. I don't even know why trades, you know what I mean, is where they seen that they can negotiate trades. Because the things that we get and we see, half of the stuff coming out of Japan and China. You see? So it shouldn't be complicated. They should be able to compromise. They should be able to communicate. Should nothing be complicated where you can't make no trades. You can't make no any negotiations. America did a lot of trading with Japan and China. Let's go.
You know, we have some advantages over other countries, and we do have a great market. We have an amazing market. But you know what? If I let this go, if we didn't win this election, if we had these people that were running, that were ruining our country, destroying our country with their open borders and men playing in women's sports and transgender from everybody and windmills all over the place, if we allowed that to go on for another couple of years, we would be, I'm not sure that we'd even have a country. By the way, I'm not sure we would have even had a country. And now we have the most successful country in the world. Brian?
Yes, sir. What is your message to Democrats ahead of the next vote to open up the government? The American people are saying, open the damn government. What's your message to them right now?
Well, they're the ones that started it. They're the ones that have it. And it's almost like a kamikaze attack by them. You want to know the truth? This is like a kamikaze attack. They almost, they have nothing to lose. They've lost the elections. They've lost the presidential election in a landslide. I saw the other day where Kamala said this was a very close election. This was one of the biggest sweeps that anybody's ever had. Won the popular vote by millions, won the electoral college by a massive amount. They said, if I got 270, that would be great. But I got, I think, 312 and 315, and they got 220. So, we won that.
But everybody's saying this is all a joke, y'all. People saying, when you gonna get this damn government open? You know what I mean? I'm telling y'all how people very furious, y'all. They know, man, when it comes to Republican, the House of Representatives, it's the Republicans that failed to not comply, man. It's the Republicans that's in power, y'all. Democrat, look, y'all. If the Republicans want to open up the economy, all they got to do is get a couple of Democrats. You know what I mean? It's the Republicans doing this, man. I don't see why people can't see through this, man. It's the Republican parties failed to comply, and they do anything to, you know what I mean? They covering up Trump, y'all. This thing has to do with Trump. They don't want Trump to get prosecuted, man, on the Jeffrey Epstein list, man. I've been saying this for day one. I'm gonna still say it. All this stuff, the government shutdown is a whole cover up, y'all. So that America could lose their health care, everything they can lose, go down the drain. Now, do you really think that Trump is here for American people, American first? All that's this, is this a croissant? They put up a croissant. They put up these fabricated lies, you know what I mean, that have been fabricated. That's why you got these fabricators. They can tell you fabricating lies. Yeah, you'll go out and believe it. But y'all believe all the lies, man. Continue to believe all the lies. Yeah, just continue to believe all the things you hearing right now. Keep on believing it.
But we won counties. The big thing is counties. So out of all of the counties, thousands and thousands, we got 2,500. They got 525. It was a landslide, and we listened. Oh yes, it was close. it was one of the greatest victories ever, and it was a mandate to do what we're doing. And I hope, and Mark wants this as much as I do. We are very close to making a deal on the Middle East that will bring peace to the Middle East. After all of these years of millions and millions, tens of millions of people being killed, there's a chance to bring peace to the Middle East. In addition to that, I made 7 other deals, and they're,
Now, realistically, do you think that they're gonna bring peace into the Middle East? No, peace, peace. They say when there is no peace. Peacemakers. These is peacemakers. They want all the world be happy ever after. After all the years you see, they made all the trouble. Then bulldoze all the foreign countries. Now they're saying peace, peace. We want all of us to be at peace. Now you got to think, man. It's been all the years they made trouble. Now peace, peace. They say. Man, I want y'all to think, man. Use your discernment, man. Why people ain't putting up with the U.S. no more, man. Let's go.
great. And we're, things are happening with respect to Russia, Ukraine. That's one that last week, Mark, 7,812 people were killed. Soldiers, mostly soldiers. But 7,000, more than 7,000, almost 8,000 soldiers were killed. It's a crazy thing. I thought that would have been one of the easy ones. I get along very well with Putin, and I thought that would have been. I'm very disappointed in him because I thought this would have been an easy one to settle, but it's turned out to be maybe tougher than the Middle East. We'll see what happens with the Middle East.
Is the fentanyl crisis over with Canada with the Canadian border?
Is what?
The fentanyl crisis.
Fentanyl.
No, it's not over. It's never. I think it's never going to be over, frankly. But they've done. Canada's worked hard, and they've done a much better job than in the past. We have very few people coming in through our southern border too. We've worked with Canada and we've worked with Mexico, so we've made it a lot better.
I'll tell y'all something when it comes to fentanyl. When it comes to fentanyl and all these other drugs, people use fentanyl. Fentanyl is a drug that people was so addicted, and they've been flooding that all through the streets of America, man. And nothing is. Look, y'all. I'm gonna say it like this, y'all. There's so many people here. There's so many people gotta die. Do you think for a second he care about those people that when it comes to the drug cartel, when it comes to fentanyl, they don't care about who dies here, man. Who you know what I mean? Who being killed through drug overdose, man. There's so many people getting, you know what I mean, drug overdose through fentanyl, excuse me. So you guys gotta, you guys gotta see it for for yourself, man. What's going on here, man? They can put the crack down, you know what I mean? But look, man, there's a lot of people here, man. A lot of drug addicts here. There's a lot of people, you know what I mean, having, you know what I mean, their drug addiction. They fighting. You're a president of the United States of America. There should be some leeway you have where you can put a crack down to all of it if you want to. There's so many people here, y'all. Just think. So many people gotta be knocked off. The streets, cities, it's crowded. Drugs and fentanyl, people dying. And this is the best thing they have. Let's go, y'all.
On fentanyl, any amount is too much. So we've gotten it down. It's down substantially. It's less than 1%, but it's still too much. It's too much at home in Canada.
people.
Yeah, we got to
What
stop
Russia,
it.
Mr.
USMCA, are the two of you both committed to seeing it through in the renegotiation of that deal that you made?
Well, we can renegotiate it, and that would be good, or we can just do different deals. We're allowed to do different deals if we want. We might make deals that are better for the individual.
What's your preference?
I don't care. I want to make whatever the best deal is for this country, and also very much with Canada in mind. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, China, what more can the United States and Canada do together to counter China?
Well, you have to be able to compete. They're a great competitor, and Mark and I both know that. And you have to be able to compete. We have big advantages over China for lots of different reasons, and I think we're doing very well with China. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to be meeting him in a few weeks, as you know. I'll be meeting him in South Korea. But we've had a very good relationship for a long time. But you have to be able to compete. To do well with China, if you can't compete, you're not going to do well with China. And Canada is very competitive. I can tell you that. Canada is a very competitive country. And I think Canada's done very well over the years with China.
Yeah, we have, but we'll do better together.
Yeah.
Mr. President, on the Middle East, what guarantees are you giving your Arab partners that Israel will not resume its offensive after the hostages are released?
Well, the primary guarantee is once this deal happens, if it does happen, look, they're in negotiations right now. We are going to do everything possible. We have a lot of power, and we're going to do everything possible to make sure everybody adheres to the deal.
Are you concerned about the delays at airports and how you see this shutdown?
Oh, sure. I mean, they're all Democrat delays. There are delays at the airport. That's standard. And again, this is something that every day we put forth a bill. Just a continuation. It's a very simple thing to sign and very simple to do. And I really think that these are people that I think they have nothing to lose. They have a party that's out of control. They have no leader. Nobody knows who the leader is. I look at people with very low IQs like Crockett, this woman Crockett. I never met her, but she's a low IQ individual.
Yeah, y'all keep saying Trump, man. Trump can't never make the nation great again. Y'all keep saying Trump, but y'all don't realize that Trump got the power, but he's using his power that's he's doing what's unlawful. Y'all keep screaming this man Trump because I don't want y'all to start pointing a finger on me, man. Trump is going to be the meltdown of the fall of America. America's falling, y'all. This is the end of her power. This is the end of her rulership. This is the end of their government. This is the end. And you'll be right back watching my channel because you can't just make this up. You about to see the furious anger of the Lord. You about to start seeing, storms just activating. One storm after another. You think she's going to get over the soar? You're going to see another disaster. Another storm going to come to destroy her. And these storms are visiting America by Almighty God, Allah. See, when our people don't have no knowledge of the book, of the scriptures, can make great error and continue to live in this old world. This is an old system that is dying. This is a system that's shredding apart. I could bear witness what's going to come on this earth. And America, she's not going to escape the judgment and wrath of God.
I look at AOC talking about how if they want to negotiate, they can come to my office. She's not in that position to do that. And who the hell is she to say that? And then I watch Nancy Pelosi not knowing what to do. I watch their leadership. Look, Schumer is petrified of primary because he's not going to win probably against anybody in a primary. You know, Schumer did the right thing, but he handled it badly originally a year ago. He did probably the right thing, but he handled it badly. I think Schumer's incapable of making a deal. They are a mess. They're a party that has no leadership. They have, and they have no policy. You know, I think we have great leadership, but we also have great policy. We have strong borders. We have no men and women's sports. Basic things. We're not.
God's going to strip them. He's going to strip them. See, first, what God's going to do, He's going to show you every pledge you're going to see. Y'all seeing these waves coming off, and America is being divinely curtained. Oh, it's happening. And to the north, and to the west, and to the south, and to the east, America is being divinely curtained. Make no mistakes about it. People saying Trump. He's saying that. But what they going to do when it comes to FEMA, when they trying to end FEMA, a 4.6 billion funding they trying to end, and you're going to realize insurance companies, look, man, they putting this in your face. Well, we can't do nothing. Things about to get worse, y'all. Choose your God this day. Which God you gonna serve? You see, gonna serve this old God that you're looking on the screen, that old satanic God. You gonna continue to serve this old system that must die out, or you gonna serve the God of freedom, justice, equality? This is a system that's finna die, y'all. It's finna die out. God finna destroy this system. This system, I can bet you, this system gonna die out. We don't have long. You don't have long to this all of a sudden to decide. The people in Noah didn't have long. Lots of people didn't have long. Moses' people didn't have long. See, I teach saying let this not be 10 years. The fall within a few days. This fall of America is coming. The fall of America is coming from Almighty God. America's going to fall apart. So do not be confirmed in this world, but be transformed by renewing your mind. Do not follow the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This world's going to fall apart. It's going to fall apart. Let's go.
We're not going to take your child away and change the sex of your child. We're not going to do things like that. What they're doing to the country is so incredible. And they got away with it with all their woke crap, and now it's stopped. And we have a country that's based on common sense and strength and intelligence. We have the United States of America, and I say it all the time. Other leaders have told me this. Mark hasn't yet, but I think he would. A year ago, we were a dead country, and now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. Maybe Canada, I'll give Canada, but because I do like Canada. But, we're the hottest country in the world right now. There's never been a country that has the kind of money coming into it. There's never been anything like this. There's never been a country that if you take $1 trillion, that would be unbelievable. We're going to have over $20 trillion invested in this country. There's never been anything like what you're seeing, and it's based on good policy and common sense and leadership. Yeah.
Mr. President, what is Canada giving you in return? If you say Mr. Carney is going to be leaving Washington happy, what's Canada giving you in
Well,
return?
you'll find out, but I think the people of Canada, they will love us again. Most of them still do. If you say only 25%, I assume a lot of them, I think they love us. And you know what? I'm not the biggest hockey fan, but I like it a lot. And I watched some of the greatest hockey games I've ever. How good were those games, right?
Yeah, very good. We're coming down for the World Series, Mr. President.
Okay.
That doesn't include supply managed goods like dairy, for example. If the federal government said
Well,
that's
if you
off the
want to
table.
include dairy, I mean, it's going to include everything. We'll do a
Have
comprehensive.
you identified programs to eliminate under this shutdown?
Oh, sure.
Which ones?
We have a lot. I'm not going to tell you, but we'll be announcing it pretty soon. But we have a lot of things that we're going to eliminate and permanently eliminate.
You see, he just told on himself, man. What are they going to eliminate? I'm not going to tell you. They about to eliminate everything for us, y'all. Look, y'all, this is why God come, man. Straighten out this crookedness, man. To move this rubbish, wicked, right race from the face of this earth, man. And I gotta say the way I gotta say, y'all. Whoever don't say it won't say it. See, America, she's on her way or have to pack up. These people they can't give us a future. They don't have a future for us. Our children don't even have a bright future here. Look at the educational systems. Now, at one point, you can just say, wow, look, I have all these diplomas, college degrees, and you could think you could do it. You know what I mean? Things educationally. But that don't give you justice here in America. You still suffer with an armful of diplomas from colleges and universities. Is that not right? See, if that's not right, then I'm willing for you to shoot me down, cut me down, if you please, if I'm not right. But if I'm right, then bear with me.
One of the things that we have is some advantage, you could say, but because of the shutdown, which I think they made a big mistake, we're able to take out billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse, and they've handed it, on a silver platter. And Russell Vogt, he's a serious person, very serious person, and he's sitting there and he's getting ready to cut things. And this is something that was handed to us by, I assume, Schumer. I just don't know if Schumer has any power anymore. I look at your leadership, I don't know who to speak to. I'll tell you what, I'm getting calls from Democrats wanting to meet. I never even heard their names before, and they're claiming to be leaders. The Democrats have no leader. They remind me of Somalia, okay? And I met the president of Somalia. I told him about the problem he's got. I said, you have somebody from Somalia who's telling us how to run our country. She's from Somalia. He said, would you like to take her back? He said, no, I don't want her. Okay, you know what? Say it again.
How many permanent jobs are you talking about?
Well, I can tell you, I'll be able to tell you that in 4 or 5 days if this keeps going on. If this keeps going on, it'll be substantial. And a lot of those jobs will never come back. But
Hey, look, see, this is why I don't care about this dude. This is because he don't care about you. You know what I mean? He don't care about you. He don't care about the American well-being, man. This is why he gonna get what he deserves, man. A man will reap what he sowed. As thou hast done, so shall be done to you. America gonna really reap what she sows. And nothing good comes from these people. They want you to praise them. We don't praise these people. Because we know their time has come. Look what they doing with this friend of mine. They killing people, man. They giving the green light, man. They killing us, man. They killing us at any price they can because they don't care about your loyalty. In their hearts, there's death against us. This black man here in America. All day long, I've been trying to reach out my hand. See, this is what Isaiah said. All day long, I've been trying to reach out my hand to a people that were disobedient. Let's go.
you're gonna have a lot closer to a balanced budget, actually.
Is there anything the Prime Minister has done that's making it more difficult to reach a deal?
Say it?
Is there anything that the Prime Minister has done that's making it more difficult or easier to reach a deal?
No, I think he's a great prime minister. I mean, he could represent me anytime. I will tell you, I'm not saying that because, no, he is very strong, very good leader. He's a nice man, but he can be nasty. He can be very nasty. Maybe as nasty as anybody. I think Canada. Let me put it this way. I can tell you this because I deal with lots of leaders all over the world. He is a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially. And I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
So then what's holding things up? If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man too. Thank you very much.
You know why people laughing like that, y'all? Because they know Trump ain't gonna be a great man. That was actually a joke, y'all. He said, because I want to be a great man." That's a joke, y'all. Seriously, people is taking this man as a joke, y'all. He's a fraud, man. He's a fraud towards the American people. I just want y'all to read between the lines, man. I just want y'all to read to the lines, man. A lot of them people know he's a fraud. Let's go.
Had a great weekend. As you know, we made our deal with the European Union. The Japan deal is done. Many of the other deals are done. Indonesia was a very big deal, big country actually. And they're wonderful, hopefully wonderful for both sides. But it's literally trillions of dollars ultimately being brought into our country. and it was something that had to be done, and it is being done, and it's being done properly. We're now negotiating with various other countries, and the rest we're just sending out the bill to. We send a bill, we send a letter saying that you'll pay a certain tariff. Obviously, that's most of it because you have, as you know, hundreds of countries, a lot of countries out there. So we look at the deficit, or we look at the surplus, and we look at the country and how the country's treated us, and lots of other things go into the equation, and we make a decision as to what that tariff will be, and it's a pretty standard letter from that point on. And I want to tell you, this is something to me, it's a VA bill signing, and it's very important to me and to many of the people in this room. So I'm thrilled to sign the VA Home Loan Program Reform Act into law, and that is something that they've wanted to do for a long time. This legislation provides desperately needed relief to veterans and their families who have fallen behind on their mortgages, which are a lot because we have somebody that doesn't want to lower interest rates and probably won't lower them today. It's a really sort of an amazing situation.
And he want to keep the interest rates high, y'all. He want to keep everything high. They don't want to lower nothing, y'all. We're about to come to some very difficult times, y'all. But I'm not finna let this stress me out. But it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a tough grind, man. You know what I mean? I told you guys, y'all. I told you guys how things, you know what I mean, it's going to affect us, man. And you know, something is already mighty here. Something mightier is here, y'all. And look, man, I already knew we was gonna come into this. You know what I mean? Time I told you guys. Remember I said get your house in order, get your food and stuff in order. Learn how to train your kids. See, this is what we don't teach our kids. We teach our kids want to eat up everything. They want to see anything in the house, so they want to just eat up. But we don't train our children to learn how to fast and things like this in the time. A lot of parents, you should be ashamed of yourself because you should come to this time. This is where you have to learn how to do a lot of freeze drying with your foods and things. You know what I mean? Teaching your kids that food is not to just be seen and be eaten. This is real. Hunger and starvation is real. People are starving, and you know what I mean. People, it's a lot of people that's going through hunger. Like this, man. Just look, man. When I look into the third world countries, man. When I look at the homelessness, it's around us, man. We can see it around us, man. Look, you gotta get your house in order, man. Get your antibiotics. Get these things, man, that you need, man. Let's go.
And it helps keep our promise to end veterans' homelessness, and we're going to do that for America. We're going to do that for our great veterans. I'm thrilled to be joined by the bill's sponsor, Congressman Derek Van Orton. Where's Derek? Derek? Hello, Derek. I didn't see you back there. Let's see you. Mike, how are you, Mike? These two gentlemen are terrific. They are working together. They've been working together, Mike, a long time. So I just want to thank you both, and I'll ask you to say a couple of words. An estimated 61,000 American veterans are in danger of losing their homes, as you know. But thanks to this bill, the Department of Veterans Affairs will be empowered to pay loan holders the necessary amount to prevent foreclosures on our veterans, so our veterans won't be foreclosed and put out onto the streets. It's very important. This bill also creates a 5-year partial claim program that could benefit up to 3.7 million veterans. That's the kind of numbers you're talking about. It's big stuff. The costs of the program are fully offset and will add nothing at all to debt. It's common sense legislation and overwhelming support and passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. Wow, when was the last time that happened? Oh, that's pretty impressive. My administration is committed to doing everything possible to ensure that our veterans are treated with respect and treated as well as anybody in this country. They're so important. They're so great. They've suffered so much, many cases. In May, I signed an executive order to open the National Center for Warrior Independence in Los Angeles, California, which will house up to 6,000 homeless veterans. You know, until we came along, they treated the veterans far worse than the illegal immigrants that came in. They were staying in hotels, luxury hotels, and the veterans are staying outside on the sidewalk of the same hotel. Some pictures are just incredible. In addition, we'll also be opening a full-service VA center in New Hampshire, which is the only state in the union to not have a VA center. And I made that promise to the people of New Hampshire a long while ago and got it done. It's the only state that doesn't have, and yet you have a lot of veterans in New Hampshire. We're slashing the wait times at VA medical centers, and we're bringing back VA choice and VA accountability, which I had and the Democrats abandoned. Made it so much better. Accountability meaning if you treat our veterans badly, we treat you badly. You get fired and beyond that. And VA choice is you can get out and you can, if you don't have a doctor ready, willing, and able to take care of you within the VA, you go outside, you go see a doctor, you get better, and we pay the bill. And the veterans loved it. We had a 92% approval rating. And what did the Democrats do? They came along and they ended both of them, and they hired back many of the people that we fired. We fired people and replaced them with great, loving people. But we fired people who were sadists. In many cases, they were sick. They were thieves. They were stealing. And they hired them back. The accountability, meaning the VA accountability, was a big deal getting it passed because you have unions, you have all sorts of problems to go through. We got it through everything. And the Democrats, as soon as they got back, they hired many of the worst people right back, and we're getting rid of them. But I want to thank the two gentlemen standing behind me, and I'd like to ask you just to say a couple of words, and then we'll take a few questions if you'd like. And we'll sign the bill, and our veterans will be very happy about it. Thank you.
Well, first off, thank you, Mr. President, for signing this bill today. Let me tell you that not only this bill, which will help make sure that those veterans have got themselves in a situation where maybe they would be foreclosed on, it gives them just a little bit extra help without the government.
They already signed. I want y'all to hear me. They already signed this bill. Now, as far as I don't know yet, as far as this bill going to be into effect, I think this is why, you know what I mean, the Democrats is not agreeing on this one big ugly, you know what I mean, big bill, beautiful bill. So Trump knows, y'all, that nothing going to stand in the way of what's in this bill, man. You know, so this is why, you know what I mean, this is why the government was on the verge of shutting down. This is why we seeing the government shut down, y'all. And as long the Democrats don't, you know what I mean, apply, you know what I mean, what the Republicans want, then this is how long the government will be shut down. So, you know, how long they drag this out, y'all? How long you think you see all these benefits the government will be gone. They've been talking about Social Security is at a risk. It ain't even next year. I've been saying. Yeah, Social Security, health care is a big thing, y'all. Let's go.
Government going into a banking business like what we had with the previous administration. I also want to say thank you too, though, for appointing Doug Collins as our secretary for the VA. As chairman of the VA, having the opportunity to work with Doug, one, because we worked together before, but he has the right attitude. And the attitude is the VA is not about bureaucracy. It's about the veterans, and we want to keep it that way. That doesn't mean we don't have a good workforce. What it means is that workforce is focused on the veterans, not on making sure that the VA grows, but making sure that the VA does the job it's supposed to do. And thank you, Mr. President. It's your leadership that allows that to happen.
Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. Thank you, Mr. President, for hosting us here. I'm the longest-serving enlisted member of the United States military to ever get elected to Congress in the history of our nation. And I'm unequivocally stating right now that President Donald J. Trump is the most positive, pro-veteran president in the history of this country. And so he backs up his words with deeds, and this is another example of how President Trump is taking care of our veterans. So, sir, I'm very thankful for you, for your leadership, and let's get this thing done and get our veterans into homes. So God bless you, and God bless the United States. Sir.
Let's sign first, and we'll take a couple of questions. Yes. Get it done. Waiting a long time. And I do want to commend Doug Collins, because I hear him. I think that's a fantastic job. He's done an incredible job.
That's a good one.
No, what a picture. It's a very important bill, and we want to thank everybody for the great help, in particular.
It's a very stinking ugly bill. You signed boo all on that bill, man. It's boo all the way on that bill. Look, man. It's boo all written. It's boo boo for us. Yeah, it's boo boo for us, man. It's boo boo, I say again, for us. It's boo boo all written in that bill, man. That one big, ugly, beautiful bill. All you gotta do is sign. See, all the old man gotta do is sign. Sign. Just sign. That's all we need you to do. They're the House of the Representative. It was Trump. They like this, you know what I mean? Tell you, man, just sign this executive orders. You know what I mean? We so happy and congrats you as President of the United States. All you gotta do is sign here, sir. That one big, ugly, beautiful bill. Y'all about to really see. Y'all about to really see what's gonna happen to a lot of us, y'all.
Fantastic job. Thank you very much. Very well. Okay, questions?
Mr. President, you said that higher interest rates are harder for veterans to refinance. There's stronger than expected GDP report this morning. What do you say to analysts who worry that lowering interest rates would actually lead to inflation?
Well, if that happens, happens, and we just raise them. What you do is you lower them, and let's see if there's inflation. Right now, there's no inflation. Everybody thought there would be. All we have is billions of dollars of cash pouring into our country from other countries that took advantage of us for many, many years. You know, they were taking advantage of. We were like the stupid people that didn't know what they were doing. They took advantage of us. Other countries, friend and foe. And by the way, the friend was oftentimes much worse than the foe when it comes to trade. So if that happens, what you do is you raise your rates and you do what you have to do to stop inflation. But we're keeping the rates high.
He needs to be locked up. It seems I'm gonna be honest. It seems like he ain't learned anything. Trump needs to be locked up. He needs to be you know what I mean? He needs to be put to jail. He needs to be locked up. I can bear witness something that's gonna happen to this country. I can bear witness when we look into our cities, when we see this earth filled with malice, envy, and hate, greed, selfish, murder, and robbery, and drug addiction. We have the tacities, the cruelty, police brutality, the infliction we see, and it's stuck for a very long time. And that we've seen that there haven't been that one solution. There have not been one solution to solve the problems we see. Let's go.
And it's hurting people from buying houses, and we don't want that. If for any reason that happened in a year or two, if there's some signs of inflation coming back, right now there's not. We have a great thing going. I think we're going to have the richest economy you've ever seen. We have money coming in that we've never even thought about, at numbers that nobody's ever seen before. We have a deal with Japan where they're going to pay us $550 billion. We have a deal with Europe where they're doing $750 billion plus $400 billion plus $300 billion. And many other countries, it's likewise, you know, relatively, those are two big ones, but likewise. So we have a lot of money coming in, and we have no inflation, and we're very strong, and we should be lowering the rates. You know, each point that this gentleman keeps up costs us $365 billion a year. Think of that. 1 point, $365 billion. If you bring it down a point, we save 365. We should be the lowest interest rate, and we're not. We're 38, number 38, because of the Fed. It's all because of the Fed. He's done a bad job. Now he's got a meeting today, but I call him too late. You know, he's always too late. Even if he does it today, probably won't. I hear they're going to do it in September, not today. For what reason? Nobody knows, but Europe, as you know, cut their rates 11 times in the last short.
See what he ain't saying. He's cutting tariffs in every state, even you know what I mean, outside the U.S., even in foreign countries. People are feeling domino effects everywhere, y'all. Even in the UK, even in you know what I mean, in the UN, in the United Nations. You know, I say this, y'all. America, look, look, we do with a cyber attack that can come here, y'all. We are going to probably see some cyber attack that's going to come here in the United States. It's only just a matter of time, y'all. We gotta have a preparedness, man, because these people don't have a preparedness for us. They lightly continue to shut down the economy. And you're gonna see a whole economic crash, y'all. Let's go.
Period of time. But the good news is we're doing better than anybody anywhere in the world. Nobody's doing anything even close to us, even with the higher rates. The higher rates do affect housing, though, because people can't go out and get a loan or refinance their house. It would be nice to have them be able to do that. That would be just another check of a box. That would be very important. Yeah, please.
You mentioned today that India, in addition to its 25% tariff rate, will pay an additional penalty because of its support of Russia. What is that additional penalty? And are other countries facing the same threat?
Well, we're negotiating right now, and it's also BRICS. You know, they have BRICS, which is basically a group of countries that are anti the United States, and India is a member of that, if you can believe it. It's an attack on the dollar, and we're not going to let anybody attack the dollar. So it's partially BRICS, and it's partially the trade situation. It's deficit. We had a tremendous deficit. So, as you know, Prime Minister Modi's a friend of mine, but they don't do very much business in terms of business with us. They sell a lot to us, but we don't buy from them. You know why? Because the tariff is so high. They have one of the highest tariffs in the world. Now they're willing to cut it very substantially. But we'll see what happens. We're talking to India now. We'll see what happens. It doesn't matter too much whether we have a deal or whether we charge them a certain tariff. But you'll know at the end of this week. August 1st.
Look, he said he don't know what he's going to charge. Look, he said you're gonna know by this week. Everything people being charged with these tariffs, y'all. What? See, I want y'all to understand. What do you think is going to happen? The more Trump is going to apply these sanctions, tariffs. What do you think is going to happen? When nations is rising, kingdom is rising. I hate to say this to y'all, man, but I gotta say it over and over, man. America's finna fall, y'all. Real bad. She gonna take a hit real bad. She gonna take a hit real bad. The people is gonna suffer real bad. We all gonna suffer behind. You know what I mean? This one man you see. We all gonna suffer, y'all. We all gonna suffer. The sad thing is, y'all, these people we didn't trust. Look, y'all know y'all can't continue running this kind of dirty game on the people. Y'all know at some point that this old system was gonna fall apart. And y'all can't keep running this same, you know what I mean, tactics. You know what I mean? Y'all can't continue to run the same dirty game that y'all been playing on the people. Y'all know y'all are responsible of this judgment. We don't want y'all crying. Don't start crying at what y'all did. You know what I mean, to the people, man. Don't start crying. Just like they said, be sorry. we ain't gonna feel sorry for you. We not. We tired. Tired of your game plan. People are crying out, saying enough is enough. They crying out. They crying out.
This is a very good day for this country because money is going to pour into the United States like we've never seen before. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Hawley introduced legislation that would ban members of Congress from owning or trading individual stocks. It extends to the president and the vice president. Are you in favor of that legislation?
Well, I like it conceptually. I don't know about it, but I like it conceptually. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up after the announcement's made. And she ought to be investigated.
Harvard is reportedly willing to settle with you for $500 million. Is that enough?
Well, it's a lot of money. We're negotiating with Harvard now. They would like to settle, so we'll see what happens.
Mr. President, what is America's debt to our Afghan war allies? They kept our veterans safe over there. There's been some talk about sending a lot of them back.
We know the good ones, and we know the ones that maybe aren't so good. You know, some came over that aren't so good. And we're going to take care of those people. The ones that did a job, the ones that were told certain things.
You know, Most High gonna take care of these people, man. These people that was coming out of Europe. Yeah, He's gonna take care of y'all. You know, there's no place like home. Because America gotta pack up, man. These people gotta pack up. They gotta concentrate, man. They gotta concentrate on their continent. They gotta concentrate on that place of Europe. They can't concentrate. The focus can't be on us anymore, man. They got to concentrate on Europe now. See, Europe is a place where it's going to be reckoned with. They got to concentrate on their future in Europe, or else concentrate on their death instead of their life. They can no longer focus on us anymore. The focus got to be now taken off. They got to focus on packing up, man. A terrible time is gradually approaching us. A time so terrible it's going to make their children's grave head. A terrible time is coming. I hate to say it, man. God hates this wicked American whites. And He's going to turn them backwards. See, go to Isaiah 44:25. He's going to turn them backwards. He's going to turn them around. And He promised to move them from the face of this earth. You watch what I tell you. These storms are in play. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you where FEMA can't do nothing. Because Edom said we will rebuild the ruin. See, this is what the Lord says. They may build, but I'll demolish. You will see it with your own eyes. And it says, great is the Lord beyond the border of Israel. See, when a son honors his father, when a master his slave. See, God said, if I'm a father, where is the honor? If I'm a master, where is respect? See, it's you, America, who is after. And with the help of FEMA, they're going to say, we're going to continue to rebuild. But God's going to demolish. It ain't no time that you're going to have time to rebuild. There's no time that you're going to have time to recover if God when it gets to you. See, America going to rally to some point. Then all of a sudden, you're going to see a dark cloud springing over the country of America. And this dark cloud is going to signal a freedom of thought, hell, destruction that's coming to America. I hate to say it, but death is coming to America.
A shame what happened. One of the most disgraceful episodes in the history of our country. The way we left Afghanistan was just a disgrace. But I understand your question fully, and we'll take care of 90% of your question. Okay, I know what you mean. Thank you very much.
On the tariffs on India, are you still open to negotiate with India on the tariff front?
Well, we're talking to them now. We'll see what happens. Again, India was the highest, or just about the highest tariff nation in the world, and one of the highest, 100 points, 150 points or percentages. So India was one of the highest in the world. They had won 175%, and higher than that. You know, there's another higher one is Canada. They've been charging our farmers 200%, 300%, 400% for years, and nobody did anything about it. But India is one of the highest, so we're going to see. We're negotiating with India right now.
Bird bags of Russiagate materials, and I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
He said what?
Bird bags of Russiagate materials.
I don't know
guys
that.
supposedly found.
I don't know that. I don't know what you mean by that statement. Say.
Bags full of Russiagate
A bird bag. I thought you said appointed them in the bird bag. Go ahead. You got to speak up.
Thousands of documents in these bags, supposedly bird bags of the FBI in the secret room.
Well, I want everything to be shown. You know, as long as it's fair and reasonable, I think it will be shown and it should be shown. And I think he feels that way, and I think Pam feels that way. But it's got to be, it's got to be stuff that really doesn't hurt people unfairly, because you have so many people involved. And if they can do that in a fair way, I think it's great. I think it's really great. The whole thing is a scam. It's a scam set up by the Democrats, and they love talking about it. But I would like to see people exposed that might be bad, and we'll see how that all works out. But it's getting to be very old news. You know, if they had anything, they would have done it the week before the election, because they were losing by a lot. If they had anything, they would have done it. They control the file. The Democrats controlled it. Comey, all this, sleazebags, every one of them that you read about all the time, and I guess they've got.
He said that he keeps saying the Democrats control. You know what I mean? The Democrats, what do they control? If the Republicans own mainly the House. And this ignorant man, he's not going to look. You think he's going to let up? Do you actually think he cares for the well-being of American people? Look, man, as long as he can continue to apply this, pressure, we in trouble. There's nothing you can do. But we got a God that will to come to free us and rescue us. and take the infliction off of us. See, God is coming into a city where you live. We're not sitting here and make no ends and buts about it. But he's coming to a city near where you live.
Some problems now having to do with yet a different scandal, very big one. But they control that file, so I would think that if they would have had something in the file, they would have released it about a week before the election, maybe 2 weeks, right, Brian? Go ahead.
Mr. President, welcome home, by the way. Good to see you.
It was a great trip. It was an amazing trip.
For the country,
For me, it was okay, but for the country, it was an amazing trip. Go ahead.
it was. Many parents are preparing to send their kids back to school in a few weeks. Now, this will be the first time they've gone back to school under the second administration for you. Now, the previous administration labeled a lot of parents domestic terrorists for showing up to school board meetings. What's your message to parents now as they return their kids to school knowing that they have the support of you?
Well, the beautiful thing is, as you know, we've gotten rid of the woke. Woke is gone. I think pretty well buried. We're going to make sure it's buried. But the parents are now taking over the school boards and getting rid of these people that probably didn't like the children very much based on what they were doing. And it's a big difference. And, one of the other things, and I keep watching these talking points that the Democrats have, they say, oh, prices are up. No, prices are way down. Fuel is down. Groceries are down. Things like eggs are way down. When I came in my first week, the eggs had gone up like 4 or 5 times. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. And they were hitting me about eggs. I said, I just got here. It was one of my first news, maybe my first news conference. And we have eggs down now to a point where they were actually lower than even before. So I just want everyone to know prices are way down. And that's...
I don't think nothing's down, y'all. No, I don't think nothing's down. Make sure you guys subscribe, man. For more updates, for more content, stay subscribed. We out.